Browns fans, I'm still feeling pumped up. You should be too, because Cleveland dominated the Dolphins. We got lots of great news for the Cleveland Browns to get into in this victory. Some inside stats and numbers that are going to make you go, wow, this was good. I mean, all three phases came together today. That's why you get that final score of 31-6, folks. Welcome into the Browns Report. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. Like I said, still fired up just like Quinshon Judkins was when he ran into the end zone for the third time today. He's electric. We're having fun on the show today. If you want to be a part of fun wins like this on the Browns Report, sub 4 dubs. It's not just the saying, it worked today. We gained hundreds of new subscribers on the watch party. We're now over 55,354. Hit that subscribe button if you want daily Cleveland Browns news and more Cleveland Browns wins just like this, and to celebrate them with a community of Browns fans when it happens. We also go through the losses together here on the channel as diehard Browns fans. All right, let's get into our first piece of the Cleveland Browns victory that was amazing. It's Quinshon Judkins. Not only was his 3-touchdown day impressive to watch, but we've got a lot of insight on it. He's the first Browns player with 3 rushing touchdowns in a game since Nick Chubb on September 18th, 2022. They're saying it's Chubb 2.0. I call him Quinshon Studkins. I had some comments calling him Quinshon Chubkins. Come up with your nickname for him because the rookie running back is special. I mean, as a draft pick for Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns, Judkins is one of the best ones in recent memory. One of the best that Berry's ever selected. We were talking today, is it the best one Berry selected? I got to go back and look, but Judkins has been an absolute beast, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, they fed him the football as well. 25 carries. This is what we should be seeing, folks, when you have a dynamic, electric, elusive running back who's powerful. His vision is incredible. He finds the hole, dodges tackles. It's everything you want in a running back. And if you've been watching the Browns Report, maybe Kevin Stefanski watched the Browns Report, but I was freaking out about this. 4 days ago, October 15th, I said, I'm going to crash out on the show if this is not a Quinshon Judkins game. If Stefanski does not script this game for Quinshon Judkins to lead the offense, I will freak out because it's so obvious. The Dolphins have the worst rushing defense in the league. And finally, they did it. They listened. Like I said, 25 carries for the rookie. He deserves it. The play calling got better. ... Hold on. We were all screaming about Kevin Stefanski getting fired. I was ready to toss him out if we lost this game. But there was a lot of improvement. He actually listened to the fans. He listened to what we were crying for. I'm not saying he's off the hook completely. We'll talk about Stefanski in a little bit. But the play calling was better today. It's what it should have been the past 2 weeks. If you remember, even Myles Garrett had spoke out about it. You know, it seemed like Stefanski had lost that locker room a little bit. Garrett was vocal about needing to run the ball more. This is what he had said about the Steelers game. I would have liked to see us stick to the run a little bit, especially with the dynamic playmaker like Quinshon. Heck, even Dylan Sampson. Would have liked to see it, but they saw it differently. It never made sense why Judkins did not get more than 12 touches in the Steelers game. No wonder we lose that football game. Stefanski's buying himself a little bit more time. With this big victory, with a better game plan, a script that worked, we put up 31 points. Obviously, the defense a huge part of that. They scored 7 of them. And an interception, they ran back down to the 2-yard line. But this is what we should have been seeing from the Browns. Let's talk a little bit more about the play calling, because how about this decision? The Browns ran a wildcat with Judkins. 2 plays in a row, first and goal and second on goal. They just said Gabriel wasn't even in on this play. Judkins, you take the snap and go to work. And it worked. He scored. Running it 2 plays in a row, too. Like, I don't even know if that's a good play call, but it's just, hey, Judkins, you're the best player on offense for us right now. Just take the ball and go to work with it. This was a touchdown. And then what did they do later in the game? They did it again. I mean, everybody in the stadium knows that you're going to just run it with Judkins. It's obviously a wildcat power. They've ran it twice already. It worked again. And Judkins almost bobbled the snap. He reeled it in with his left hand and then just did the rest. Ran forward, spin move, made his way into the end zone, slashed through that Dolphins defense. I mean, it was phenomenal to watch. It actually made sense, right? Just give your playmaker the ball. I mean, we're working him. You know, he loves it. He's a workhorse. He gets fired up. I love what I'm seeing. This is the game plan that the Cleveland Browns have needed all along. This is what it should have been. You have a defense that's playing like one of the best in the NFL. You're starting Gabriel, and even when Flacco was in, to be fair. Those are game-managing quarterbacks. This should have been the plan. Just feed Judkins. And the fact that the Browns finally listened, finally let him go to work, and he popped a 46-yard touchdown run to get things started for Cleveland, and it was all Cleveland from there. Every single thing went right, folks. Learn from this. Keep doing this. And listen, teams are still game planning against Judkins, right? I mean, entering Week 7, Judkins had faced 8+ defenders in the box, more than any other running back in the league. It's ridiculous. Teams are still counting for him, and it's not going to matter because he's one of the best running backs after contact. Did this save Kevin Stefanski's job? What do you think, Browns fans? Will Kevin Stefanski remain the Browns head coach this season after this big win? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. If you think, well, hold on a minute. It's still Kevin Stefanski. You know, we're not letting him off the hook just yet. What do you think, Browns fans? Is he safe? Is he not? I do think that this bought him some time, but he should still be under the light, under the microscope. We're going to scrutinize what he does going forward because of the poor start and the poor play calling we'd seen earlier. But today was a big step in the right direction. A get-right game for the Cleveland Browns where they actually called it correctly. Type Y for yes and for no. Coming up, we got some more good news for the Cleveland Browns, folks. Some more numbers that are going to make you excited and hyped if you're a diehard Browns fan just like me. But before we get into that, I'm excited to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Honestly, I am just so hyped that football is back on Sundays, all is right with the world, and I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in, and Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you could pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. I've got a lineup of my own. It's a Monday Night Football special. Our old pal Baker Mayfield, I think he gets more than 18.5 rushing yards. C.J. Stroud and Sam Darnold facing each other, more than half a passing touchdown for both those quarterbacks who've been hot all season long. You can tell me if you want to try and make some money. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Some insight from Seth Walder on Tyson Campbell, the newly acquired corner for Cleveland from Jacksonville. In coverage today, Campbell, per Next Gen Stats, 28 coverage snaps. They only targeted him twice. 0 receptions were allowed. And one of them was picked off, went the other way, pick 6 to start the second half. It was electric. This should fire you up about Cleveland's new addition. I told you he's going to be a much better fit in man defense with Jim Schwartz's scheme. Wasn't working as well in Jacksonville's scheme where they run zone a lot. Newsome can go over there. Let's revisit the trade. Did Cleveland win this? Because we got Tyson Campbell, who's on an extension already, signed for years to come in Cleveland. Newsome is on a contract year. If Jacksonville wants to keep him, they're going to have to pay him in the offseason. Late round pick swap. But like I said, you get a young corner to come in who's physical. He's 6'1", he's a good tackler. Cleveland might have won this trade, folks. Once again, fleecing Jacksonville. It's early, but Newsome, have fun in Florida. Cleveland and Tyson Campbell look pretty darn good today. You know who else looked incredible for the Cleveland Browns on defense? Grant Delpit is having a Pro Bowl season. The safety is phenomenal lately. Solo tackles, 3. He's just hawking to the football. He's tackling well. It's impressive what we're seeing from Grant Delpit. Top safety of the Browns defense. He's just playing such good football. Of course, Quinshon Judkins had an absolute monster of a game with the 84 yards. And what's so impressive about Quinshon, he had the hat trick, the 3 touchdowns, absolutely. But he's doing it behind the Browns' offensive line, folks. That offensive line room is banged up. The tackles have never been good. Jack Conklin, hurt once again, did not play today. Cam Robinson, getting to start again. But it's hurt. It's aging. The tackles have been the Browns' biggest issue. And Judkins is still finding seams. Now, a theme of the game was there were some tackles for loss on Judkins in the backfield because, like I said, they're stacking the box against the rookie, and he's getting hit right away. But he still found ways to break loose. Some big pops. The 46-yard touchdown. The Browns, what they ended up doing was rotated Cornelius Lucas and KT Levison at right tackle because Conklin wasn't out. So, they didn't trust either of them to play the full game, which, by what we've seen, by the film, by the numbers, another good call by the Cleveland Browns to at least rotate in and get some variety there because none of them are consistent starters in the league. And so they worked. Judkins made the most behind that bad offensive line. I mean, imagine if we had an offensive line, folks. Oh, my goodness. To quote Stephen A., don't get me fantasizing and salivating about what could be if Cleveland had an offensive line. Actually had some time to throw, and Judkins didn't have to do all the work. Whew. Imagine if the Browns had receivers. Imagine they had receivers that could catch the ball. True number ones. I mean, today's leading receiver is Harold Fannin Jr. I believe he didn't even hit 40 yards. Like, if we had an offense, folks, it never was an understatement to say that the Browns could be contenders with their defense. It was just that their offense had been so poor. And you know what? They're not out of it. The AFC North is wide open. If there's any year where you're still in it after Week 7, it's this year. And Cleveland had one of the toughest starting schedules in the league. Look at their last 10 games, folks. You go to New England. Okay, that's a tough one. But then you get the bye week. Get right. And you go to New York to play the Jets. Probably, arguably, the worst team in the league. Next to the Raiders, who we also have coming up on our schedule. I don't know, the Titans. Might be the 3 worst teams in the league. Those are 3 wins, folks. I bet we could beat Baltimore with how bad they look as well. There are multiple winnable games on that schedule, folks. And so this win is huge for Cleveland. Also, don't forget that we should have beat the Bengals. We had the Vikings game. There's a world where the Browns are 4-2 right now, folks. Obviously, it's flipped. It's 2-4. But this win today, a dominant blowout win, that just shows you that Cleveland is no joke. The defense especially. 4 takeaways today. Incredible. But looking at that schedule, be the fortune teller, Browns fans. Predict how many wins the Cleveland Browns will get in 2025 and maybe into 2026. Comment a number. If you think that's it, the Dolphins game's the last one we win, well, then comment too. Or, looking at those games, you can rewind if you need to look at them. Pick a number 2 through 12. How many wins do the Cleveland Browns finish with this season? Like I said, multiple winnable games coming up. And today was a sign of life. A get-right game. Exciting offense. Finally, we put up 20 points. We did it. Forget 20. We scored 30. It's the first time we got more than 20 this season. And it was done in blowout, dominant fashion. Wouldn't be surprised if Mike McDaniel gets fired. I don't know how they could justify keeping him. If he doesn't get fired, then they're just keeping him for the rest of the year no matter what. Folks, thank you so much for watching today's edition of the Browns Report. This was so much fun. This is electric. This is what it should feel like. This is a good time being a Cleveland Browns fan today on this Sunday. Enjoy work or school tomorrow, your Victory Monday. We will have a video out very early in the morning tomorrow, so keep posted. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one. And we thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you who tune in, and we'll see you next time on the Browns Report.